Sweet soul, before you read even one more word, take a breath. The angels are wrapping you in the most beautiful, warm, golden light right now. You are seen. You are so deeply loved. And you were guided here today for a reason that is bigger than you may realize in this moment. Welcome to the Angel's Message for You original channel. This is our only official channel. Please beware of copycat and pirated channels, and stay connected to the original source for authentic angel messages and true blessings. Now stay with us all the way to the end, because the angels have placed the most powerful, most healing part of this message at the very end. So many people click away before the breakthrough arrives. Please don't be one of them. What is coming in the final part of this message could genuinely change how you see yourself and your life forever. Your angels are asking you to trust the process and stay until the last word. You will be so glad you did. Take one more breath. Feel that? That warmth in your chest? That gentle sense of being held? That is your angels. They are right here. They never left. And they have something very important to say to you today. Now, before we go further, can we ask you something? Have you ever felt deep in the quiet of your heart, like the universe was trying to get your attention? Like there was a whisper in the air, a tug in your chest, a soft knowing that something important was about to be revealed? If you feel that right now, even just a little, that is your angels confirming. Yes, beloved, this message was made for you. You didn't stumble here by accident. There is no such thing as accident in the divine universe. You were led here, guided here, called here. And here is what the angels brought to our attention: a sacred moment, a private, deeply human conversation between two souls. And in that quiet, trembling exchange, the universe revealed something so beautiful and so heartbreaking all at once that it stopped everything. Because what was spoken in that moment carries a truth that every single one of us needs to hear. My beloved child, last night the angels overheard words that shattered the surface of the ordinary and whispered secrets that carry the deepest spiritual weight. A soul opened up to a trusted friend, and what poured out was not just words. It was a lifetime. It was raw truth. It was vulnerable, sacred, unfiltered honesty spilling out into the open after years of being held quietly in the dark. They spoke of time as though it had been moving too fast, as though it had been sneaking past them while they were busy trying to hold everything together. And what struck the angels most was not the counting of years. It was the trembling in their voice, the way vulnerability quietly broke through every wall they had built around themselves. And it was in that fragile pause, that almost inaudible sigh between one word and the next, that the angels leaned in close and said, "This is a soul that needs to be heard. This is a soul that is ready for something new." Have you ever felt the ground shift beneath your feet without any warning at all? That feeling right there is the universe trying to wake you up, to gently shake you from sleep, to remind you that there is so much more to this life than just getting through the day. That is exactly what happened in that sacred private moment between those two friends. And that is exactly what your angels are trying to do for you through this message right now. This soul did not just speak about time passing by. They revealed regrets they had been carrying quietly, carefully, painfully for years. Hidden fears, silent wounds that no mirror could ever reflect back to them. Every word they spoke was soaked in the weight of a life that had been moving forward, fast and relentlessly forward, while they stood on the inside quietly wondering if they were enough, if they had done enough, if there was still time to become who they always hoped to be. Beloved, the angels want you to understand something deeply and completely right now. This moment, you reading these words in this place at this time in your life, is not a coincidence. The universe simply does not operate through coincidences. You were guided here because something in this message carries a mirror for your own soul's journey. There is something in this story that reflects a part of your own heart back to you. And the angels are asking you to be brave enough to see it. Imagine carrying something heavy for so long that it becomes normal. Imagine walking through your days with the quiet weight of things unsaid, paths not taken, dreams you gave up on so gradually that you barely noticed they were gone. And then one night, one unguarded, ordinary night, it all comes flooding out. That is what happened for this soul. They confessed things to their friend that they had never said aloud before. Dreams that had quietly faded without a proper goodbye. Moments they had stood at the edge of and stepped back from. Opportunities they had turned away from. Not because they didn't want them, but because somewhere along the way they had started believing a very painful lie, that they were not worthy of the life they truly desired. And here is what the angels say about that lie. It is not true. It has never been true. It will never be true. You are worthy of every dream that lives in your heart, of every beautiful thing you have imagined for your life, of love, of joy, of purpose, of peace. The angels placed those longings inside you because you were meant to live them, not just admire them from a distance. Every word this soul spoke to their friend was a kind of prayer rising up through the night air. A prayer that someone would really hear them. A prayer that it was not too late to begin again. A prayer that life still had more waiting just on the other side of their fear. And the angels heard every single syllable of that prayer. They are answering it right now for that soul and for you. The friend who sat and listened did not say much. They did not have to, because some truths are too sacred to be interrupted with words. Some moments ask only for presence, for witness, for the quiet, steady gift of simply being there while someone else is brave. And that is exactly what the angels are offering you in this moment. They are sitting with you right now. They are bearing witness to everything you have been quietly carrying. Every unspoken dream, every fear you push down before anyone can see it, every version of yourself you have held back because you were not sure the world was ready, or because you were not sure you were ready. Dear one, can you feel that? That soft warmth moving through your chest right now? That is the angels touching your heart. That is real. That is love. And it is entirely meant for you. This soul spoke about moments that should have become milestones but somehow slipped past. Memories that were never made. Connections that slowly drifted without anyone truly meaning for it to happen. Chances that appeared briefly at the edge of their life and then quietly disappeared. And the most moving thing about their honesty, the thing that made the angels pause in pure reverence, was this: they didn't blame a single other soul for any of it. They sat in the full, honest weight of their own choices with a grace and a courage that was breathtaking to witness. There was no bitterness. There was no anger directed outward. There was only the quiet, aching honesty of a soul who had finally decided that carrying this alone was no longer something they could do. And the angels say, that decision is the beginning of everything. Time, this soul said, had felt like something slipping away, like each year that passed took a little more of what they had hoped to become. But the angels want to offer you a completely different way of seeing time. Time is not a thief, beloved. Time is a teacher, and every single year of your life, every chapter, every season, every moment that felt like loss, has been part of a divine curriculum designed specifically for your soul's growth. The angels see the full picture of your life, not just the chapter you are living in right now, with all its uncertainty and its questions. They see where you have come from. They see every battle you have fought that no one else ever witnessed. They see the nights you cried without knowing why. They see the mornings you got up anyway, even when every part of you was exhausted. They see the 1,000 small moments of courage in your ordinary days, the choosing to keep going, the choosing to be kind, the choosing to stay soft in a world that sometimes makes hardness seem like the only way to survive. And the angels want you to know with absolute certainty, not one single moment of any of that was wasted. Not one tear, not one hard night, not one difficult season. Every single piece of your story, including the parts you are most ashamed of, including the chapters you wish had gone differently, every piece is woven into something sacred, something that is still being completed, something that is more beautiful than you can currently see. Do you know the feeling of carrying unspoken truth? Most of us do. We carry it around with us like invisible weight, heavy in our chest, pressing quietly on our shoulders as we move through the day. All the things we meant to say and never did. All the roads we stood at the beginning of and then turned away from. All the versions of ourselves we told we would become someday, and then someday kept getting farther away. But beloved, your angels are speaking directly into that weight right now, and they are saying with the fullness of divine love, today is your someday. This moment is your invitation. Not tomorrow. Not when the circumstances are better or the timing feels more right or the fear is finally gone. Right now, in this breath, in this moment, this is your invitation. As this soul poured out their heart to their friend in the quiet of the night, something powerful happened in the space between them. The air itself seemed to shift and thicken. It became charged, the way the atmosphere feels right before a storm arrives and clears everything stale and heavy away, making room for something clean and new and full of possibility. The angels say this is exactly what is happening in your life right now. Something old is clearing away. Something that has kept you smaller than you are meant to be. Something that has whispered you are too late, too much, not enough. That voice is losing its power. And something new, something luminous and full of grace, is beginning to arrive. Do not be afraid of that clearing, beloved. Welcome it. Let it come. Let the old weight fall away. You do not need it anymore. This soul spoke about a fear that lives quietly in so many beautiful hearts right now. The fear of fading. The fear of becoming invisible before they had truly left their mark. The fear of going through all of this, all of the living and trying and loving and losing, and somehow not matching in the end. Not being remembered. Not having fully bloomed before the season changed. Oh beloved, your angels hear that fear in so many souls right now, and they want to speak directly into it with a truth that is bigger and stronger and more real than any fear you carry. You cannot fade. You are a divine being of pure light. You were created with a purpose so specific, so irreplaceable, so beautifully yours that the universe held its breath the moment you came into existence. No one else who has ever walked this earth, no one else who ever will, no one has your exact gifts, your exact perspective, your exact capacity to love and to see and to touch the world in the way that only you can. You are not one of many. You are one of one. Unrepeatable, irreplaceable, profoundly necessary. Before we go deeper into today's message, if you feel guided by this energy, you can sow your seed for your soulmate's well-being and protection through the Ko-Fi link Super Thanks in the description or pinned comment. This is a simple way to support this divine mission and invite blessings for your soulmate journey, emotional healing, and overall well-being. Many believe that when you give with a pure heart, it returns as love, peace, happiness, and abundance in your life. Your support helps this channel continue spreading divine messages, guidance, and hope to many souls around the world. You are not invisible to the angels. You have never been invisible to them. Not for a single second of your entire life. The fear of fading comes from the human mind, which can only see so far. But the angels see beyond what the human eye can reach. And what they see, when they look at your life and your soul and your journey, is not someone fading. They see someone becoming. They see someone who has walked through fire and is emerging. They see someone whose deepest chapters are not behind them but ahead, shining, full, waiting to be written. Beloved, the real pain that this soul was expressing that night was not really about getting older. It was about the deep, aching human fear of not having truly lived, of having moved through the days without being fully present inside them, of having said yes to safety and no to aliveness so many times that the life they actually longed for had begun to feel like it belonged to someone else. Someone braver, someone more free, someone who had not let fear make so many of their decisions. Does any part of that feel familiar to you right now? Be honest with yourself in this sacred, private moment. There is no judgment here, only love. The angels do not look at you and see your hesitations and your fears as failures. They look at you and see a soul that is learning, growing, waking up, a soul that is ready right now for something more. The angels want to ask you something gently, something worth sitting with. What have you been waiting for? What dream have you been quietly folding up and tucking away because it has started to feel too big, or too risky, or too far away, or simply too late? What version of yourself have you been holding back because you were waiting to be sure, waiting until the fear was gone, until the timing was perfect, until you had enough of whatever you feel like you are lacking right now? What love have you been withholding from the world and from yourself because you were afraid of what it might cost you? The angels are not asking these questions to make you feel heavy. They are asking because they want to help you answer them. They want to walk with you into the answers. They want to be right beside you when you take that first brave step toward the life that your soul has been quietly longing for. Because here is the truth the angels are pouring into every word of this message for you today. It is not too late. It is never too late for a soul that is still breathing, still seeking, still open, still willing to take one more step forward into the light. The doors of possibility do not close on a living soul. They stay open. They stay lit. They stay waiting with infinite patience and infinite love for the moment you are ready to walk through them. This soul's vulnerable honesty that night was not weakness. It was the bravest thing they could have done. Because speaking truth, real, raw, unguarded truth, is how the walls come down. It is how the weight gets lifted. It is how transformation actually begins. Not in the grand, dramatic moments, but in the quiet, trembling ones. In the moments when we finally stop pretending and start being real. And the angels surrounded that soul in that moment with such tenderness, such compassion, such overwhelming love, just as they are surrounding you right now. You don't have to pretend anymore, beloved. Not here, not in this moment. You can be exactly where you are and exactly who you are and exactly as scared or as tired or as hopeful or as lost as you genuinely feel, and you will still be met with nothing but love. That is the nature of the divine. That is the nature of the angels who walk beside you. There is no version of you that is too broken, too behind, too far gone, or too complicated to be loved completely and held gently and guided forward. The friend who sat with this soul that night held a kind of sacred space that most of us rarely receive. They offered no solutions, no advice, no carefully chosen words. They just stayed. They just listened. They just let the truth fill the room and honored it by not trying to fix it. And in that silent presence, there was more healing than 1,000 words could have offered. This is what the angels do for you. Every single day, in ways you may not always feel or see, they stay. They listen to the truth of your heart even when you cannot say it aloud. They honor your journey by walking beside it without trying to rush it or redirect it or make it look different than it is. They are patient with your becoming in a way that is almost impossible for the human mind to fully understand. You are never too much for your angels. You are never too broken. You are never too late. You are never too complicated or too unworthy or too far gone. You are always, in every moment, exactly right where you need to be for the next part of your journey to unfold. Beloved, as the angels watched this soul speak their deepest truth to their friend, something profound became clear. This was not just one person's story. This was the universal story of the human heart. Every single soul on this earth carries some version of this. We all have the dreams we slowly let go of without meaning to. We all have the moments of hesitation that cost us something precious. We all have the voice of fear that has made decisions in our life that our soul never truly agreed with. But beloved, hear this clearly. The fact that you have arrived here, the fact that you are reading this message right now, the fact that something in you responded to the call to be here today, that is not the action of someone who has given up. That is not the behavior of a soul that is done. That is the movement of someone who is waking up. Someone who is reaching, someone who is saying, even if only in the quietest whisper of their heart, I am still here, I still want more, I am still willing to try. And the angels say, that is enough, that whisper is enough, that reaching is enough, that is all the universe needs to begin moving on your behalf. The angels see doors in front of you right now, beloved, beautiful, luminous, radiant with possibility. Doors that lead to deeper love than you have known, to a sense of purpose that fills you up rather than draining you, to peace that is not dependent on everything going right, to joy that comes not from circumstance but from within. These doors have been there all along. They have been waiting for you with extraordinary patience. And the angels are standing right beside each one, holding them open, saying, come, you are ready, come. Here is what this soul's honest, trembling confession was really about at the deepest level. It was about the distance between who we are and who we know in our soul we are meant to be. That distance can feel enormous sometimes, can feel like a canyon, too wide to cross, too deep to see the bottom of. But the angels want you to know that the distance is always smaller than it appears. And the bridge across it is built one honest, courageous, faithful step at a time. You do not have to leap. You do not have to transform overnight. You do not have to suddenly have everything figured out or every fear resolved. You only have to take one step, just one. The angels will meet you there. And from that step, the next one will appear. And from that one, the next. This is how lives change. Not in explosions of sudden perfection, but in small, brave, daily choices to keep moving toward the light. What is your one step, beloved? What is the one thing that, if you were truly brave today, you would begin to do differently? The angels are asking, and they are ready to walk with you into the answer with everything they have. This soul, by the end of their honest confession to their friend, had given the universe something extraordinary. They had given it their truth. They had opened their hands and let go of the carefully constructed story they had been telling everyone, and themselves, and simply allowed what was real to be seen. And in doing that, they made room. They made room for something new to enter, for something that had been waiting patiently just outside the walls of all that pretending. This is what honesty does. Not harsh honesty, not performative honesty, not honesty designed to shock or wound, but gentle, courageous, heart-level honesty. The kind that says, I am not okay with staying here forever. The kind that admits I have been afraid. The kind that whispers I want more, and I believe it might actually be possible. That kind of honesty is a spiritual act. It is an act of faith. It is the opening move in a conversation with the divine. And beloved, the divine is always ready to respond. The angels want you to hear this next part very carefully, because it is one of the most important things they want to pour into your heart today. Your life is not measured by the years that have passed. It is not measured by what you have achieved or accumulated or figured out by now. It is not measured by how well you have kept up with anyone else's timeline or anyone else's definition of success or anyone else's idea of what a well-lived life looks like. Your life is measured by the depth of your love, by your willingness to grow, by the moments you chose presence over performance, by the times you reached for someone else's hand in the dark, by the quiet acts of courage no one else even knew you were doing, by the way you kept your heart open even after it had been hurt, by the beauty you noticed in ordinary moments, by the grace you gave yourself on the days you fell short, by the faith you held even when you could not see what was ahead. Take a quick second before we move forward. Many channels are reposting and copying our content, but authentic energy cannot be duplicated. For the strongest positive connection and divine guidance, always listen from the original Angel's Message for You channel with the black logo base. Now, let's continue with the message your angels want you to hear. These are the things that matter to the angels. These are the things that are eternal. These are the things that will endure long after every other measurement has faded away. And by those measures, beloved, by those true soul-level measures, you have been doing something remarkable. Even in the seasons when it felt like nothing was happening, something was growing. Even in the seasons of loss and confusion and standing still, something in you was being prepared. Something was being deepened and strengthened and made more ready than it was before. This is not the end of your story. This is a turning point within it. And the angels have been waiting for this turning point for you. They have been preparing it, holding it, carrying it for exactly this moment. Here is the final truth the angels want to leave resting in your heart from everything that has been shared today. Life is not fleeting because it is meaningless. Life is fleeting because it is precious. Every single moment, every ordinary Tuesday morning, every imperfect conversation, every quiet sunset you almost missed, every hug that lasted a little longer than expected, every moment is a gift from a universe that loves you beyond what human language can express. And the invitation in every one of those moments is the same. Be here. Be real. Be brave. Be you. Not the version of you that has everything together. Not the version of you that has resolved every fear and answered every question. Just you, the one reading these words right now, with your specific, beautiful, complicated, unfinished, glorious story. That version of you is who the angels love. That version of you is who the universe created. That version of you is enough. More than enough. Perfectly and completely enough. When the nights feel long, remember this. When fear gets loud and tries to convince you that it is too late or that you are too small or that somehow you have missed your moment. Remember this. When the world feels heavy and the road feels unclear and you are not sure you have what it takes to keep going, close your eyes. Take one breath. Feel the warmth that is always there, just waiting to be noticed. And know your angels are right there. They are right beside you. They have been with you from the very beginning. They will be with you every single step of the way forward. You are loved with a love that has no ceiling and no condition and no end. You are seen more fully and more tenderly than you have ever been seen. You are held even on the days when you feel most alone. You are guided even when the path looks dark. You are enough, right now, exactly as you are. Enough. Thank you, beautiful soul, for being here today. Thank you for opening your heart to this message. The angels are so grateful that you stayed. They want you to carry this love with you into your day, into your week, into every moment that feels uncertain or heavy or hard. Keep going. Your story is not finished. The most luminous, the most powerful, the most beautiful chapter of your life is not behind you. It is being written right now, in this very season, and the angels are writing it alongside you, with more love and more intention and more excitement than you can currently imagine. Go forward, beloved, with courage, with faith, with the knowledge that you are never, ever walking alone, with all the love of the universe pouring through every word. Dear beautiful soul, this angel's message for you channel is a sacred spiritual home, created for faith, healing, and divine guidance. A place where hearts awaken and lives are gently transformed through divine messages. We warmly invite you to subscribe and stay connected, because the divine is always preparing something greater for your journey, something you are meant to receive in divine timing. If you feel moved to support this mission, you can sow your seed here for your soulmate blessings and divine love fulfillment. Your contribution is not just support. It is an energetic agreement with love, healing, and divine alignment in your own life. When you give with intention, it opens doors. Love flows more freely, happiness expands, and abundance multiplies in unexpected ways. Many believe that giving in faith activates a return of peace, joy, and emotional fulfillment in relationships and life. Whether it is $6, $11, $22, or $55, your generosity helps us continue spreading these divine messages of hope, healing, and soulmate guidance across the world. Every seed sown into this mission helps hearts heal, faith return, and souls reconnect with love. This is more than a channel. It is a movement of light, unity, and divine timing. Your support allows this sacred work to grow, touching lives that are searching for answers, comfort, and spiritual direction. We are all connected in this journey, and together we rise as one community under divine love. Let us open our hearts to the abundance that is already on its way. Amen.